Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every morning with a black, hot, fresh cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. In my all-time favorite coffee mug with the quote of the century by Oscar Wilde. Life is too important to be taken seriously, so lighten up, folks. And speaking of not taking things too seriously, today's topic of conversation is getting kicked off of a hookup site or a sex site, as it were, which, true story, this actually happened to me not too long ago. And I was like, wow, this is like the funniest thing ever. And I was like, this has to be a video. So I'm not going to mention the name of the site, but let me just say it's not Adam for Adam. It's not Manhunt. It's not, well, let me just say it's not those two for now. So you might figure out which it is. So here's what happened. I was in Palm Springs back in November. Now, this particular site is very out there. And you know how they have the different grids that you could fill in, and on this particular site, there's all of these different questions. And one of the options for all of them is ask me. And you see like on this particular site, there's so many people who like their profiles like say nothing other than like an age. They may not even have a picture and everything is ask me, ask me, ask me. Well, first of all, if I need to ask you, if you're too lazy to fill out a profile, that tells me you're lazy in bed, so I have no interest. But this one particular site, one of the specific questions is drug use. And people say yes, no, often, socially, 420, only, ask me. Now, the truth of the matter is when they say drug use, really what they're referring to is, in this day and age, a lot of people party, Tina as it were. So, and anyone who puts ask me, that usually means yes. So, newsflash, any yes or no question ask me means yes, in case you didn't know that. So, I'm in Palm Springs, the capital of Tina, because it seems like half the people there do that a lot. So, even as someone who doesn't do it, it's like when you're out there, when you go there and you want to even just try to hook up or date, it's difficult to find people that don't do that. So there was one instance where someone wanted to hook up, but I really wasn't interested because it was obvious to me that that would have been part of the equation. So fast forward, when I got back from my trip and I'm in New York, I was on the site, and then all of a sudden when I refreshed it, my profile wasn't there. I had the GPS locator. That's another hint. And I was like, oh, so I thought, okay, let me log off. Maybe there's a glitch. So I logged off, and then when I went to log back on, a notice came up saying, your account has been terminated. I violated some rules. And I was like, what? Completely flabbergasted. So then I sent them an email asking, well, what's going on? Why did you terminate my account? Like, what rules did I violate? And they just sent me like a standard email that they obviously copied and pasted, where, you ready for this? Where they basically said that my account was terminated due to drug trafficking. That I was either like soliciting or selling or participating or like, and I'm like, dude, seriously? Like, this website, that's all everyone does on it, which is why half the time I don't even like going on it. And that's one of your actual questions where you ask about drug use. And when I tell you that a lot of people are like, yes, and then, they do the capital G and T, which indicates that's what they're doing, and they even go as far as saying that they point, which is shooting it up. So like people are blatant about that. I'm not, because that's not my thing. Other things might be, but that's not. So it's ironic, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I got kicked off of a sex site for so-called drug trafficking, which I don't do, but everyone is on the site and half of them are blatant about it. So to me, the whole thing is rather laughable, but it just goes to show you that in this day and age, anyone can say anything about anyone, or report someone to whatever entity, and the likelihood is they're not even going to contact you to hear your side of the story. So, and then they even went as far as saying, don't try creating another profile. And was speaking to a friend of mine, same thing happened to him about a year before. And then he tried creating another profile using a different email address, but somehow they linked it to him and they knew it was him. And then they wanted to fine him $2,000. I'm like, are you kidding me? So you're a hookup site and you want to fine someone $2,000 for creating a profile on some shady site anyway. The whole thing is rather laughable. So my viewers out there who are on any kind of these sites, have you ever had anything like that happen? I think it's a bit of a joke. It's funny, but it actually did me a favor, because it was right when that happened that I then suddenly have been so focused on this YouTube channel. And, so I've not been wasting my time, hooking up with these fools anyway, that half the time they're all cracked out of their heads anyway. And then they just, so it's taken away from what I should be doing. And it usually ends up going nowhere fast. So I'm actually a better person for it. And once all is said and done, they actually did me a favor, because, the only flip side to that is, if I'm going to be totally honest here, I used to most of the times whenever I would meet someone or hook up with someone just for fun, half the time it came from that particular site. And I even went and bought a sling. So now I have this sling in my bedroom, which I've, suddenly I bought the sling and then this happened, and I've not really been focused on extracurricular fun anyway. So I'm like, why did I just spend all this money on this sling? I mean, it's cute to kind of lay in and just, watch TV, even if I'm alone, but wasn't exactly the reason why I bought it. So anyway, hope this wasn't too much of a taboo topic, but I was talking to my friend Ava, and we were cracking up about it. And I was like, girl, I gotta do a video on this. Hey, Ava. Okay. Leave your comments. Hopefully this was lighthearted and made you laugh. But yeah, if you have had any experiences like this, let me know. Hopefully you haven't, but if you did, just, you're better off without them. Whichever site kicked you off, good. I've been kicked out of better dumps than that. Okay, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, notifications. Signing off.